Good morning, one and all. This is Udashi, working as assistant professor in the Department of Mechanical Engineering in St. Peter's Engineering College. We are discussing about Unit 4 of CAD/CAM. In the last class, we have discussed about what is group technology and what is computer-aided process planning. In today's class, let us discuss about computer-aided manufacturing resource planning. So here we have two MRPs, manufacturing resource planning and material resource planning. Material resource planning is called as MRP1, and whereas the manufacturing resource planning is called as MRP2. So here we are going to learn about what are the inputs, what are the outputs and benefits of MRP, what is enterprise resource planning, that is ERP, and what is capacity requirement planning, that is CRP. Okay. Now let us start with this material resource planning. See, material resource planning is where we speak about the availability of the materials. So here what happens is we take few things into consideration while deciding the materials that we require. So here we take the present inventory, means the stock with us, into consideration. And next, what is the present project, what is the future project, what is the time it is required to complete this inventory, it means to finish up this project. So depending upon the present future prediction, depending upon the inventory which we have, depending upon the demand of the product, will decide the requirement of raw material. So while when we are deciding the requirement of raw material, we take few things into consideration. First one is the independent and dependent demand. So here, what is independent demand and what is dependent demand? So independent demand is the component demand will not depend on some other component. See, for example, if you take tires of your automobile, so this will get worn out and we'll replace it with new tires. So here the demand is independent. So it does not mean the manufacturing of the tires will depend upon the manufacturing of cars. No, so it got some independent demand. So similarly, the spare parts. Okay. Next one is a dependent demand. Dependent demand is where the manufacturing of one component will depend upon the manufacturing of some other component. So here what happens is, see, for example, take example of a cylinder, piston and piston rings, okay, of some engine. So here what happens is, if you are manufacturing some piston, it means you need piston rings for that. So here the manufacturing or the demand for the product is dependent. So the demand of the piston and demand of piston ring will be together. So this is called as a dependent demand. Next one is a lumpy demand. Lumpy demand is where you have huge demand for that product. It means the requirement of this product is more in the market. Next one is a manufacturing lead time. Manufacturing lead time is it includes both productive and non-productive work. So what is productive work? See, productive work is where you do your machining, where you check it, you will go for the inspection for the quality control. So whatever the things you are using, wherever you're using it very good, very productively, so that is called a productive output. We have a non-productive work, like moving from one machine to another machine, shifting the component from one place to another, turnaround time, the time wasted by the operator. So all these things are non-productive work. So manufacturing lead time will include both the productive and non-productive work. Next one is the common use items. Common use items is here, this will be consumed very fastly. Here everybody will use these items very frequently. So these are called as the common use items. See, for example, if you have some nuts and bolts, you'll use it for every project. Okay. So here, as you're using for every project, we don't look at the project. We just purchase it and keep it in the store. So depending upon its consuming ratio, means how many parts are being consumed for how much of time, based on that time we'll purchase those parts. So these are the different things which we take into consideration when we are doing a MRP, that is material resource planning. So this material resource planning will only speak about the material. Okay. So here, what are the inputs that we take for making this material resource planning? So first one is a master production schedule. So the master production schedule will include which part will start or which project will start at what time, what is the time that this project is taking to start and to finish it, What are the number of components or number of assemblies that you are going to get? So what is the lead time? What is the complete time which this project is taking to start and wind up? So all these things will be mentioned on the master production schedule. You'll know about the number of machines, number of tools, which tool and which machine are going to work on this project for what time. Everything will be mentioned in the master production schedule. And service parts is what are the parts, which means what are the components that are going to give service to this project. Okay, next one is the bill of materials. Bill of materials is, say for example, if you have some assembly. So in this assembly, I assume you have some component at the top and some component at the bottom. Now you want to make assembly of these two components. So here, in order to make assembly of these two components, we use some nuts and bolts. Okay, so how many nuts you need and how many bolts you need, how many the top components and how many bottom components. So you'll have a list of components that you require. So that is called a bill of material. Bill of material is a list where you have the name and the quantity of that particular component. Okay, so this also will take as input for deciding the material. Next one is the inventory record file. What is the existing inventory, existing stock that we have? So that is called an inventory record plan. So all these things. So what is the master production schedule? What is the bill of materials? What is the inventory we have? All these things we take into consideration while deciding the material that we require. Next one is now whatever I have explained about what is master production schedule, the same thing is mentioned here. The type of end product manufactured, it means what is the end product that you are getting. Number of each product produced means if you are producing some pistons, how many pistons you are going to manufacture, how many piston rings you are going to manufacture. So all these things. Number of each components manufactured. Next, the time when the product would be ready for shipment, in the sense when you are going to send it to the market. So all these things will be mentioned in the master production schedule. So this is the input to MRP. Now, let us look at the outputs of MRP. So here, first one is the order release note. Order release note in the sense, see, when you are in need of some raw material, we give some order. In the sense, we need so and so material or so much of quantity. So that is called a order release note. So the person who is supplying material will take that order release note and will give us the material and then will make the payment. So that is order release note. Next one is reports showing the planned orders. Means what are the future projects that we are going to get. So based on that, we'll decide what are the future orders that we are going to place. So not just the past and present orders, we should have a plan about what are the orders that we are going to place in the future. Next one is rescheduled notices indicating the change in due dates for open orders. It means you have made some order, you need that material, but at this time you don't have place in your inventory, and as there is a delay in the production schedule. So here what we'll do is we'll reschedule the order. We'll ask the supplier to supply it after some time. So that is called rescheduling notice. Next one is cancellation notice. In the sense, if you are not in need of that component, not in the need in the sense, see here it does not mean, see it can be few things. Either the project which you are getting has been got cancelled, or else you have that project, but the thing is, as the production schedule which you are running now is getting delayed, and you don't have place for placing such orders. In such cases, means placing that inventory, what we'll do is we cancel that order, and when we are dealing with that project again, we'll take it from the customer, sorry, so from the supplier. So that is the cancellation notices. It is where we cancel the order that we have made. That is cancellation notice. Next one is reports on inventory status. It means, see, this is output in the sense, see, we have manufactured and we got some components and we are left with some raw material. What is the raw material we are left with? Even we'll get that report also. Next one is performance report. Means what is the thing that you have planned and what is the thing that you have executed. Whether is what is the raw material that you have ordered, what is that you have used, how much got wasted, how much extra material you have used, or how much material you have saved, how much lead time you are saving, how fast you have made the manufacturing. So all these performance reports will be shown as the output of MRP. Next one is inventory forecasting. Means here what happens is, see when you are finishing your production, so here you will be left with some more stock. Okay, what is the stock you are left with? What is the stock you have consumed? So all these things will also come as the outputs of MRP, that is Material Resource Planning Report. So these are what we have discussed. All these points is about Material Resource Planning outputs. So now that material resource planning is called as MRP 1. So there material resource planning is speaking only about the material. Okay. So we have some other thing that is called as a manufacturing resource planning. This we call it as MRP 2. Okay. In manufacturing process, we'll decide about what are the machines you require, what are the machine tools you require, how much money you require, how you are going to market your product. So all these things will come under the manufacturing resource plan. So here there are four things that we take into consideration. First one is the manufacturing applications. It means what are the machine tools, jigs, fixtures that you're going to use, what means the requirement of all the resources that you need will come under the manufacturing applications. Next one is the engineering applications. Engineering applications in the sense in order to do this, in order to make this component, what are the different mechanisms you have to use? So that comes under the engineering applications. Next one is the financial applications. What is the money that you require for making this project? That is a financial application. Next one is the marketing application. Marketing in the sense how you are going to send it to the market. What are the different advertisement techniques you are using? What are the different customers you have? What are the different methods that you are following to send your component to the market? So all these things will come under the manufacturing resource plan. So what are the benefits of this MRP? First one is reduction in inventory. Here you don't have so much of stock. So you will understand what is the stock you need, what is the production that is going on, how much you have to purchase and how much you have, what are your future orders. Everything you'll come to know. So that is about reduction in inventory. Next one is improved customer service. So here, as you have good idea about what are the components that you're performing, that you're manufacturing, you'll be in the position to supply the component to the customer in time, because you know what are your orders, what are your future orders. So you'll have enough inventory, you have a scheduled manufacturing, you can supply the component at the right time. Next one is quick response to the changes in demand. So see, we are purchasing the material based upon the inventory that we have. So here what happens is if there is a demand change for the product. So see, for example, let us take the present COVID situation. Okay, so where we have so much of demand for the mask and sanitizer. So the pharma companies which are manufacturing this may don't know that they are going to get this much of change. Okay, so as they have got a new situation where they have to manufacture so many masks and so many sanitizers, they are purchasing so much of inventory. And see, for example, if there is some situation where there is sudden decrement in the demand of that project. So in such case, what we'll do is, as we have very limited inventory, we already have, based on the project which we are dealing with, we are purchasing the inventory. So as soon as we finish the project, we'll end up with this inventory. We don't have extra stock. So this is how. So if there is any change in the demand, we can respond fastly. So that is one of the benefits with manufacturing resource plan. Next one is reduced setup and product changeover cost. So if there is sudden change in the demand or sudden change in the supplying or anything, means if you are suddenly increasing or decreasing the production. So here for changing that setup, it takes very less cost. Okay. Next one is better machine utilization. So you can use all the machines and machine tools which are available in your organization. Next one is the higher productivity. It means the output which you are getting will also increase. So these are the benefits of MRP. That is manufacturing resource planning. So next one is the capacity requirement plan. So what are the things that you need to increase the capacity of your organization? So here are few inputs. So first one is planned order and released order from the MRP system. So what are the present orders we have? What are the orders that we have released? Okay, means what are the orders that we presently dealing with? What are the orders that we are going to get in future? Okay, so this is the input to CRP, that is capacity requirement planning. What means what are the new things that we need to produce? Next one is loading information. It means which component is going to get loaded on which machine at what time. So that is loading information. Next is the routing information. Routing information is what are the sequence of operations that you're going to perform in order to get this particular component. So that is routing information. Next one is the changes. Changes in the sense if there is sudden breakdown of some machine, what are the alternative requirements that you are going to take. So these are the inputs of CRP, that is capacity requirement planning. We get some outputs with capacity requirement planning, that is load reports. It means which machine is going to get loaded with what type of component. Okay, next one is verification of planned orders, what we have planned and what we have achieved. That verification will be done with capacity requirement plan. Next one is enterprise resource planning, that we call it as ERP. So in enterprise resource planning, it includes few things. Means we have few things that are included in enterprise resource planning. First one is the scope of the project. See, enterprise resource planning will speak about everything that you need in the company. The material resource planning is speaking only about the material. Manufacturing resource planning is speaking about complete manufacturing process. But here, and capacity requirement planning is speaking about the capacity of machines and the persons. Okay, but enterprise resource planning will speak completely about what are the things that you require in that particular organization. So here you see this ERP includes the scope of the project. Means what is the project scope? What is that we are going to do? Next, the objectives and goals. So what are the number of components you have to produce in what time? So you have some objectives, some goals. Next one is identification of executive for implementation of ERP. It means who is the person who is going to take the responsibility to getting productive output. Okay. Next one is the establishment of project team. Who are the persons who are going to work for this team? Next is what is the plan, work plan, in the sense in what way we are going to deal with this project. Next one is assessment of business. What are the profits? What are the losses? What are the material? What is the material that we need to purchase? Where from we have to order? How to produce, where to supply, everything. Next one is the training of employees. So how employees should get trained in order to perform the job. So we should provide the training for the employees. How many employees need to be trained? In what way they have to train? Where from you have to get the experts? So all these things. Next one is investment or profit analysis. Means after finishing this project, what is the benefit that we are going to get? So all these things will be taken into consideration while deciding the ERP, that is enterprise resource plan. Now let us look at syllabus copy once again. See, we are discussing about computer aided manufacturing resource planning. We have discussed about material resource planning, inputs to material resource planning, and outputs to material resource planning. Next, benefits of MRP, manufacturing resource planning. What is enterprise resource planning and what is capacity resource planning. So with this, we have finished the syllabus of Unit 4. That's about today's class. Thank you.